Would you kindly introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, my name is Jasmine Shih on behalf of IASC, World Changers Organization, on behalf of Dr. Gabriel. And I am delighted and honored to be here. And I'm also representing the world organization called Yi Kwan Dao, as well as my own company called Agapo.
Very good. Thank you so much for being here. And from your perspective, why is this conference significant at this moment in time?
The world is in a very challenging situation at the time. We need more love and peace and understanding, and we need to absolutely create more abundance and kindness for people. We are facing with a lot of various wars and conflicts, and it requires we to come together as people. As Wilkin mentioned earlier, I wore this, he can do it, she can do it, so why not me? And I also bear my own cross because these days we have to really seek higher wisdom to make sure we treat each other well. Every interaction, every word we speak, every action we take, it has to be out of kindness and love.
I agree. And what idea or message or exchange from today's conference resonated with you most?
Everything. I really was inspired by Dr. Mark Burns' message to start. I'm so grateful he started this organization at this time because the world is so diverse with various cultures, different religions, different dogma, but we come together under the spirit of higher God and Allah or Buddha. However we see it, it's about us as humans carrying out the higher spirit's will and actions that will be done. Then there's also obviously, Dr. Gabriela, because I feel that he's marrying technology. I'm from Silicon Valley as a women technologist. So to me, that technology is a way to lighten people's burden on everyday living. For instance, we don't farm anymore. We farm, but not with our hands and feet often. We actually use machines, just like we have airplanes, can bring people closer, faster. Mobile telecommunication, in the future will be quantum communication. So all the technology is helping us to communicate better. So our job is to communicate with the right messages. So I think between Dr. Gabrielle with the Constitution, the Federation of the AI and Quantum Era, and Dr. Burns' of call to unite us together in spirit, it is very inspiring. Those are two that resonates with me the most.
Yeah. Looking ahead, what do you see gatherings like this? How do you see that it contributes to the future of interfaith and intercultural cooperation?
The value is immense. I travel around myself. I lived in Africa, in Ghana. I'm from Taiwan originally. I live in California, but for over the last 12 years, amongst my friends, besides all the venture capitalists, I travel the most. And when I travel, I do more than just business. I talk to the senators, I talk to the congressmen, I talk to the street vendors, I talk to the guy who sells the hot dogs on New York streets. I love the DC scene as well, to really understand what we're all trying to achieve, to exercise understand. So gathering like this, multicultural, multi-religion, multi-races even, and it's just amazing how we are all the same. We all, have red blood, bleed under us, and we're just humankind. And it's just nice to be hanging out with your own kind and to learn each other's similarities and differences, and to support each other and to motivate each other so we can all live better lives together.
I agree. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. It's been a pleasure to talk with you today.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you again, Jasmine.
Thank you.
we are in the heart of the United States Capitol for an amazing event. The International Interfaith Conference, Rise of the Spiritual Diplomats, led by Pastor Mark Burns. Firstly, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you, of course, to Pastor Mark Burns. It is a great honor to me, unbelievable, I would say, to perform the national anthem at the beginning of such an important event is really a dream coming true. And thank you so much, as I said at the end, at the home of the great.
Could you tell us in your own words what spiritual diplomacy means to you?
Generally, it means everything. A man is woven by the Creator in the image, but likeness is something to be achieved. And the spiritual fundings in your soul, inside of you, this is something that makes you achieve these likeness. Most important thing is the freedom of speech. As to me, there are many people who, in the world, I'm not saying about the United States, who are slightly afraid, out of different reasons, to speak freely. Would they have that, what should I say, bravery in a way?
Yeah.
I think that many things would be better in the world. Since that, a conference of that kind, where Pastor Mark Burns gives us the spirit of this bravery, is really inspiring. I'm sorry for using the word twice, but this is the thing I want to say, and I want to thank you for it.
Yeah.
I think that kind of things, the bravery and the freedom of speech, which is so important, would that work throughout the world, everywhere, without silencing those who are inconvenient. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And we should be brave in speaking out the truth.
If we could project ourselves into the future a little bit, how do you see faith and civic communities working together to make the overall society a flourishing one?
Generally, many people believe in their hearts, and they're doing it in a way, intimate.
Sure.
And a conference of that kind inspires you to make it more openly, to feel free as a society. Everyone, especially in Ukraine, dreams about peace. To get it done, as just said Pastor Mark Burns, everyone is commissioned in a way to stand and help. It's a great mission, and I'm happy to be, what should I say, a little tiny part that would be helping to achieve peace.
And how do you think faith and civic leaders can help translate dialogue into meaningful action for this very peace and freedom?
I think that my two answers before are in a way to explain that. The bravery of speaking freely, the power also of a man who is committed to say the truth in any circumstances. This is probably what is so important in the world right now, and a conference of that kind is absolutely unique, because we are all, everyone who is sitting in the hall has this dream, making us more powerful, giving us courage, bravery. I think this is what makes this conference so important, and right at the moment where not only Ukraine but also Israel needs peace. I hope that this is the beginning of a very big and successful way, because it's something you achieve. Even if it's achieved, peace, you have to struggle and fight to keep peace flourishing. And that's I think the mission of the project.
Yeah. It's like a process that we all have to partake in all the time, using your voice, like you said, being confident and having that bravery to do that. And ultimately, hopefully, as an entire society, we can relate to each other on a human level instead of some of the barriers that we may bring to the table sometimes. So thank you.
Everything we have gives us God, and the power and the courage and everything else. It is that I think sometimes it's a spell over a person who pulls back a little bit and doesn't have bravery to speak out and to feel free to achieve great things. And I think that Pastor Mark Burns is breaking the spell
Sure.
in seconds.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for inviting me. It's really an honor to me.
Yeah, of course. And based on your work, how has your experience molded this perspective that you have?
At the moment, we all in Ukraine suffer a lot of what is going on. Personally, while living in Ukraine, and also for those brave soldiers who stand in the front line right now. And it's a huge burden. It's, I mean, something that lasts for almost 4 years by now.
Yeah.
And I have to say the main words. I have to say thank you to those brave soldiers, to these heroes who made it possible to come to that point where we are right now. And I think we have to use every second that we have is willing to bring peace. And this unique moment is happening right now.
It's truly amazing. Well, thank you for your beautiful insight and your beautiful voice that you opened up with today. And thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Now it is an honor to introduce Congressman Gus Bilirakis of Florida, recognized as one of the most effective lawmakers in Congress. He's a steadfast champion for international human rights and will speak on the importance of protecting religious freedom against discrimination worldwide.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so very much. And I want to thank my good friend Matt. He's so right about these issues. We have a lot of things in common. We have to work together for the good of society, humanity. And you talked about, Matt, you talked about your wife, Mercedes' father, that was probably a political prisoner in Cuba. But this shouldn't happen in our hemisphere. And President Trump is doing something about it. We have hope now. And, Cuba is 90 miles from just south of Miami. And that's in our hemisphere. Venezuela, same thing. We need to take care of our people and make sure that they have freedoms and opportunities to succeed. So we appreciate President Trump as well. We gather here today, folks, on Capitol Hill for a truly remarkable occasion. The International Interfaith Conference, the rise of spiritual diplomats. Thank you so much for attending. Please, again, before I begin, I want to extend my deepest gratitude, Pastor Burns. Pastor Burns, thank you for your vision and for your tireless leadership in organizing this great summit. You have called us here to recognize a new era of spiritual diplomacy, where faith leaders don't just shepherd their own flocks, but step into the breach as mediators, peacemakers, and defenders of the innocent, where traditional politics often falls short. And I will tell you, people like Matt and the Speaker of the House, who's not here right now, but Mike Johnson, he cares so much. He really does. And he's genuine, he's sincere, he's a godly man. And we are making a difference, folks. We are making a difference. We're making a lot of progress. So I chair the Congressional Caucus on International Religious Freedom. I see the first freedom not as mere legal concept, but as the heartbeat of human dignity. Yet as we meet on today, January 22nd, that heartbeat is under threat, folks. So again, I've got to tell it like it is. The data from this year's 2026 report is staggering. We are witnessing government restrictions on religion at their highest global levels in decades, unfortunately. We are so very fortunate here in the United States of America. And I know there's some bumps in the road, but we have religious freedom. And we should never, ever take that for granted. But in Nigeria, folks, the crisis has reached a breaking point. Statistics from the start of this year show that over 3,400 Christians were killed for their faith in the last reporting period alone. In this day and age, it's happening around the world, folks. I have fought to ensure Nigeria remains a country of particular concern because we cannot stay silent while thousands are slaughtered. Do you agree?
Yeah.
In China, the CCP continues to target Falun Gong practitioners and Uyghur Muslims with high-tech surveillance and arbitrary detention. This is happening, folks. It's happening every day. China currently leads the world in the arrest and sentencing of believers. I mean, they're not spreading it. They're just practicing their faith, their religion. And in some cases, it's meditation, what have you. But they should be free to do so. In Pakistan, the shadow of blasphemy laws still hang over Muslim minorities. The Ahmadiyas and Christians turning private faith into public death sentence. Unbelievable. Global anti-Semitism. We must confront the reality that Jews are facing a resurgence of hate that we once promised would never, ever happen again. But it's happening now, folks, before our very eyes. We must stop it. The challenges we face are not only legal, in which regimes weaponize the laws to crush dissent, but also social, as tolerance breeds in the vacuum of silence. We must not stay silent. We must act, folks. And that's what we're doing in this Congress. This is where the spiritual diplomat comes in. You are the ones who can reach the places a secular envoy cannot. You speak a language of universal values, justice, peace, and the sacredness of life that resonates deeper than any treaty. You're the ones. We can do this together. I'm Greek American, and we say, Oli Mazi, all together. We can do this together if we stick together. Effective advocacy requires more than just thoughts and prayers, folks. It requires diplomatic engagement with teeth. With teeth, I have to emphasize that. We must continue to use the global Maksakova Act, I know how to pronounce it, but I'm sorry about that, to target those who profit from persecution. We must elevate religious freedom. This issue must be a permanent pillar of our foreign policy. Do you agree? Yeah. It has been under this administration and under Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. And we must always be present. When faith leaders and members of this caucus speak up for the persecuted, it sends a message. We are the greatest country on the face of the earth. People listen to us. We must take advantage of that. The world is watching, folks, and you are not alone. You are not alone. Pastor Burns, you often say that spiritual leaders, and I quote, carry no weapons, they carry wisdom, right? I'll repeat that. Pastor Burns says, spiritual leaders carry no weapons, they carry wisdom. Today, let that wisdom guide our policy, whether it is Christians in the Middle East who are being persecuted, a Muslim in China, or a Jew in Europe. And I will tell you that the Orthodox Christians are also being persecuted in the Middle East. Syria in particular, and of course in Turkey as well, there's not religious freedom for Orthodox Christians in the country of Turkey. We must speak up, folks. We must not be afraid. Let us leave this conference, not just as observers, and I know you won't be, but as diplomats of the Spirit, committed to ensuring that every child of God can worship without fear. That's our goal. Thank you very, very much. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America.
That was powerful.
Thank you.
Oh, that was good, Congressman. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your taking a moment to speak with us today. So far from your perspective, why is the conference significant at this moment in time?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. My name is Victor, Reverend Dr. Victor. I'm here from Houston, Texas, representing Friends of Amazonia. I'm also a pastor of Omega Gospel Ministries in Houston, Texas. And the conference is very, very significant because it speaks for the minority, it speaks for the suffering, it speaks for those who cannot have a voice for themselves. And I think that as a religious worker or somebody working for the Lord, I should participate because it will help me also learn more on how to advocate for the less privileged.
So what idea, message, or exchange from today has resonated with you the most?
Oh, wow. What has resonated with me from the messages of today is that I've come to learn, being in a service like this or in a conference like this, I was hearing from imams, from people from the, let me say, the Muslims faith, the Buddhists. And so I see now that even though we tag some religious groups as though they commit a lot of crime, but we see that in the heart of every religious group, they are the good people who want peace. And they are the good people who really want to have the world a peaceful place. And so I see that it's just that in every society there are always going to be bad people, but I think the core of everything is that we as humans, our plight is to see that everybody lives peaceably and in a world that is free. I think that's what I drew from here today.
So the conference highlights the concept of spiritual diplomats. How do you see this initiative contributing to positive change in society?
Oh, wow. I believe this is the best. This is the best initiative that I've ever come across because that is what I stand for right now. I am here representing the Friends of Amazonia, advocating for the people of Southern Cameroons who are being marginalized, killed, men, and there's just a lot of war going on in our world today, especially with us in Southern Cameroons. But from this conference, I can see that the men of God, the women of God, they are the ones that can mediate in every conference or in every conflict without any problem, because like Mark Burns says, we don't have weapons, but we have the wisdom of God to be able to mediate and bring peace around the world. And I think that's very important. And I think that's what each of us is taking out of here.
Looking ahead, how do you see gatherings like this contributing to the future of interfaith and intercultural cooperation?
I think it's a good initiative to coordinate, to cultivate and move ahead. We read, and I think it will go a long way. I heard him already talking of other conferences made that will come up. I think it's an initiative to encourage, because it's bringing together men and women of God of faith and challenging them. I recorded a little bit of his message just to inspire myself, challenging us not just to be talkers, but doers of what we've heard. We have to go out there and mediate. It may be risky, but we have to take the risk to save the lives of millions of people around the world.
Thank you for sharing your insight and your wisdom with us today and for attending the conference. And I think there's a lot of meaningful work you do. So is there anything else that you would like to let the audience know, your overall impressions of the conference today?
Yes, my overall impression is that we are very grateful unto the Lord for raising men like Pastor Dr. Mark Burns, who stand in the gap to bring people together like this so that he can send them. In fact, he really put the right name, spiritual ambassadors, or diplomats. With spiritual diploma, with spiritual ambassadors, to carry out the message of the Lord Jesus Christ out there, and to be able to know that peace is what the world needs, and politics has failed us to give us peace. Weapons cannot give us peace. I think the love of God is what will bring the peace that the world needs, and that is the message we are taking here to the world. Thank you so much. God bless you for this time.
Thank you so much. What does spiritual diplomacy mean to you?
From what we've seen here today and from the discussions going on so far, we've seen where we need to take our faith and the faith-based organization out of politics and be able to weave all we believe in to protect humanity, to have rights, freedom to worship, to right to live anywhere you want to live in the world, and to be able to discuss with one another, not based on your political leaning, but based on our individual beliefs. So if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, whatever it is that you believe you belong to, you belong to the society. You're not going to be discriminated against. So spiritual diplomacy will inform that human beings are going to be looked at not from their political leanings, but also other factors that affect their lives, and not minding what they believe in spiritually.
Yeah, very good. I think we all have a common connection in that regard.
Absolutely. Everybody has a faith. Even those who don't believe in anything, they are theists. They still don't believe there's a God, but those who believe in a God, either you're Muslim, Jewish, Buddha, Islam, whatever it is, you have a right to live in any part of the world you want to live in any society, without discrimination, without fear of persecution, and who want to reach out to those who are suppressing others. So when you come under spiritual diplomacy, you're simply saying, hey, we're talking diplomatically here, but not based on politics. We're not going to offer you money. We're simply saying, allow those who have a spirituality to more or less worship the God they believe in without persecution. And that is what I think the whole essence is all over the world. Now, if you go to Nigeria, if you go to Ukraine, if you go to Russia, if you go to China, if you go to North Korea, you're going to have different sects, different people who are claiming that they don't have right to the freedom to worship or in what they believe in. And I believe that is wrong. And America, as a great country it is, we're here in the hallowed chambers of the Capitol Hill in one of the caucus halls, discussing how to liberate people all over the world, how to save lives all over the world. And I think it is amazing that somebody who is somewhere off in South Korea doesn't know that today, or in Nigeria, that we're bringing a diplomacy that will make sure that his life or her life is protected, not minding what spirituality she believes in.
Yeah. As we look to the future, what opportunities do you see for faith and civic communities to work together for a positive social impact?
Oh, definitely. There must be a meeting point. There must be a synergy. We must be able to work together to deliver that which will bring about our renewed spirituality, which will bring about our renewed in faith and in hope, that will not only build a better society, it will build a political system that will require that, like I said, nobody's persecuted. What we want is a prosperous society, a society that will thrive, not only in politics, but in our spirituality. And mind you, spirituality is going more after what you believe in. Today, I overheard people talking about what we are as a people. How morally right is it to say you're a man or you're a woman? Is that part of what God says as being a spiritual person? What do we have in child protection in terms of our spirituality? How does that affect the society in terms of what we believe in? So I think that that collaboration between the civil society, between the political groups, between the spiritual groups, will help in making sure that the society is a better place.
I think you said it there, collaboration, and here we're here with so many people from all walks of life. Interfaith conference is exactly what we're here for, different beliefs, different backgrounds. So it's wonderful that we're here collaborating like that.
Absolutely. In one room, different faiths, whether you're, like I said, Hindu, whether you're a Jew, whatever you believe in, there must be that meeting point where we say, this is enough. There's a saying, there was a political saying in Malaysia where the two political parties were always fighting each other. And what did they come about? They say you can sleep in two different pillows, but have the same dream. So today, we want all political faiths sleep in different beds, sleep on different pillows, but have one dream. And that dream is spiritual freedom, right to worship, right to live with your moral rights, right to go about freely and not being persecuted because I'm black, I'm Jew, you're white, whatever it is, whatever spirituality you belong to. This is the world we should live in today, that will live harmoniously with one another, and we'll thank the organizers of this program who is going to take it all over the world to make sure we live in spiritual harmony.
Yeah, very true. And so that leads me to ask, how does that experience shape the perspective you bring to this gathering?
So like I told you, I've been in parliament 3 times. That is the parliament of Nigeria. So we are in, I don't know how it works here, but I guess this is a House of Representatives. I've seen some congressmen who have come here today. Now, what do we do as congressmen? The law makes it that we make laws for the good order and for the public living of everyone. And so, what does my background mean? It means that any law that I need to make, I will make that law with the fear of God, with humanity at heart, with every moral right to make sure that that law is what we call justiciable. When you say law is justiciable, what it means is that when I make a law, I can take it to court, and the court can say this is right or this is wrong. When you make such laws and the courts cannot determine whether it's right or wrong, then something is wrong. If I make a law and you get to court and they say this is a woman and this is a man, and the court can determine, yes, this is a man or woman, and don't say maybe man or woman, then I've not made any good laws. So my background means that I must be able to make laws that everybody in society will live in a harmonious life. There will be social welfare. There will be protection of life and properties. There will be economic growth. And then finally, for what we're doing here today, there is spiritual growth for everyone. And you can live your life the way you want to live your life without any fear of persecution.
Yeah, I agree. All things needed, for a society that's working towards harmony, spiritual and otherwise,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my final question is, what key message would you most like participants to carry forward from this conference?
Very simple. When in the Bible, Christ wrote, he says, you shall take this news when you're talking about the good news. And today we're talking about spiritual diplomacy. So what is the good news? The good news is that you should love your neighbor as thyself. you should have spiritual freedom. You should have economic freedom. You should have the right to choose and the right to live. Nobody has a right to kill you, and you don't have a right to kill another person. And the life should be such that we are not discriminated against based on our faith. So you should take this good news. He says, starting from Jerusalem to Judea, to Samaria, and to utmost part of the world. And what that meant was that you should take it from where you live. So we're in DC, and it's happening in DC. He said the next one we're going to Mar-a-Lago in Florida. From there, you should take it all the way to utmost part of the world. What does that mean? You should take it to Korea. You should take it to Nigeria. You should take it to Africa, to Asia, to all parts of the world where we're simply saying, you must live harmoniously with one another. Do not kill one another based on their faith. And in terms of religion, make sure that everybody has a right to practice what their mind tells them. And that is the essence of the spiritual diplomacy, where we talk to one another, not based on your political ideology, but based on the fact that, hey, I'm human. Whatever I decide to be, let it be, and let me live a life that is full and that is well protected all over the world.
Yeah. I think any sensible person would agree with that, So thank you again for your time, for your kind words and the knowledge and wisdom that you shared with us, and for being here at this conference. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.